So yeah, they escaped the Storm King. It took some of them a long time to get back from the Force of Command to the Spine of the World, where the now single-person monk was on the Spine of the World Monastery. Minotaur escaped, sheer strength. He was in special armor. I don't want to describe. There's so many wrong terminologies used back then. It was high school, middle school. Kids had a lot of vulgarity to them that shouldn't be. As the human race will move forward, we won't have the same experiences as the previous generations, and this is all a fading thing. But yeah, they had to go and get all the orbs of the dragons to control all dragons, and they had to fight gigantic statues of stones and deserts to get a special diamond that could move the earth and cause earthquakes, and basically just make any structure of any size out of stone if rock was readily available. And they got that magic diamond. And then they used that magic diamond to pretty much wipe out the Underdark. Or that, well, no, it wasn't that, but they did use it on like one Mind Flayer city with an Elder Brain, or tried to. And between that and the prison camps and pretty much the entire thing, I think people realized that, it was just because I had the nicest house and I had all the game systems that, I was, like we just all knew each other through each other, and I guess no one else, everyone else was involved in like extracurricular activities, and I was only one time to put anything together. And my name is Max, so I just let's just try and fight as many big monsters as possible, and just have every terrible thing happen to imaginary characters, and we all just sort of put something together from our imagination, from every story we'd ever heard, and every art piece we'd ever seen, and what we could all put together for the books. To flip through real fast, to have something to say for what these things did. And the game sold out, though, and what happened was they released the next edition. We did all that with 3.5, and we started playing 4th edition, and we did a couple groups of that. And I guess it really is harder and more difficult to remember specific characters from 4th edition because they no longer did monstrous races, really. Monstrous races had the same benefits as the core rulebooks or the recommended races to be. So everyone was just one of those, and I pretty much got to I guess the farthest we ever got in 4th edition was like level 7. I don't know if anyone even got to level 10, but we did a lot of 4th edition groups. Yeah, just because it gave you more starting options for those first levels, and I guess they wanted you to realize that you don't actually have time to get to level 30, and they'll give you level 30 in the first book instead of separating all these classes and different things. And now 5th edition just came out, and I've only opened it up at bookstores to get some idea of the difference, and they're even more expensive than any of the editions that were out when I played. But I can't really put anything together in my mind. It's just as sensible to me as Shadowrun or Pathfinder, yeah, or Warhammer 4050K, whatever. I don't really know anything about that, but yeah, man, I don't really know what to mention from 4th edition. We did Wraith voices, and there was an awesome zombie cave, and people died a lot. A lot of people kept on losing their characters, and that led to tension in the group. And I guess what happened was most people realized they didn't want to play RPGs anymore. But that was already my conditioning. I already realized I was enjoying it more than online gaming because of the natural interactiveness with other human beings. And except, it is just too much tension to be having 12 people over to your home all the time, just for your own imaginative ego or what. People can't understand the enjoyment of those role-playing games. But it's just, I guess they're just slightly more fun than Magic the Gathering or Skyrim. It's definitely not something that you should spend as much time as I claim to ruining other people's lives by taking up their time and life and making yourself the voice that is talking most and talking most absurd context of mythological beings and ancient history and using terms like Titan and God freely to any. It's not really something that I don't know. Anyways, so what I'm going to be going into next episode is heroes. We started imagining like X-Men heroes or I guess maybe Justice League, but not really. It was actually just for the first time we were trying to imagine ourselves in relation to the real world, only with superpowers, and where you weren't just a super weak, weird character in an over-violent universe, where basically a tragedy was happening, and for some reason you were all of a sudden more fit and capable, and some people could shoot lightning or fly, and other people chose darker powers, or powers that were only advantageous if nothing ever happened to you, or well, the opposite. And we did that for a long time, and I basically just obsessed over the feeling of just moving text around and image responses, and just lying to those monster manuals too much, and I just overstimulated my ability to enjoy comic books and video games to the point where I can't even really touch them. And I tried to apply my imagination to the real world, and it is actually just too much overstimulation to try and photo reel in your brain's imagination ability so many concepts so quickly. It was easier when we were still imagining everything as cartoon paintings, basically. And I spent a long time on a quest about a vampire cave, but that was just another video game thing I was sending on, and I just really enjoyed that status of a DM too much. I just put everything into it, almost, it felt like. I'll start describing as ambiguously and anonymous as I can the basic story structure of a superhero myth set in the real world, as best as I understood it, junior and senior year.